Hey everyone, Tanner Bell here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm the founder of Maker's Gonna Learn, a digital die cutting community for you guys that love your die cutting machine. Whether you have a Cricut, a Silhouette, or Brother Scan and Cut, any die cutting machine that works with your PNG or SVG cut files, you're able to enjoy our membership. But in today's video, we're sharing with you guys an amazing font project. If you are a yearly member or our best value tier, you are going to love all the fonts that you get access to. So if you guys are not already a member, check out that first link down below to get signed up. But in today's video, we're talking all about making subway art with fonts. We're going to share some tips and tricks about picking different fonts out. We're going to share with you guys exactly how to lay out your design and how to see it through until a finished project. If you guys are excited, let's jump into it. For today's project, you're going to need Cricut Design Space. The Maker's Gonna Learn fonts, so you must be a yearly member to get access to all of these amazing fonts. A awesome wood board, some amazing vinyl. Today we're using premium Cricut removable vinyl so that we can change out our board as the year goes through, and an electronic die cutting machine of choice. And also don't forget some transfer paper. Your choice, I think almost any should work. If you guys are excited to get started, let's head over and jump into Design Space. All right, first things first, you need to start looking through fonts. Now, in today's video, we're only featuring fonts that we use at Maker's Gonna Learn. Obviously, we love featuring our different products, and if you already are a member, you're going to be able to design your own amazing subway art from our fonts. So over at makersgonnalearn.com/fonts, if you are a yearly member, again, you'll be able to download any of these amazing fonts. Now in the description below, we're going to make sure to list out every single font we're featuring today, but really quick, we'll go over just some of the ones we're featuring. So we're using Passion, Barefoot Joanna, Brock the Jock, Ray Dunn inspired, Fixin', Mary Catherine, Bliss, Blown Away, and a few more. So it's really not too many fonts, but all you would want to do is start scrolling through, and tips for this is to kind of mesh a few different types of fonts. So we have a few different categories, whether it's a script font, hand lettered, fancy, or a basic font. You're going to see in today's project that we kind of meshed a few different ones together. You're going to really enjoy kind of designing your own, and the tips and tricks we have for you guys today are really going to make an awesome little project. So download your fonts. If you've never downloaded a font before from our site, you can just click on View All of a category and kind of scroll through. Now, what we love about this site we have for you guys is you can download a font without even clicking on the individual page. You would do that by just pressing this download button right here from the cloud. So it's to the right of your favorites button. So what you're going to do is just click on that, and you're going to see it automatically download right here in our bottom left-hand corner. Now today we're using Google Chrome. I love Google Chrome. It's fantastic for being able to create awesome projects. It works really great with Cricut Design Space, and it's really easy to be able to open up a zip file and just click on that font file and be able to install it. Now, whether you're using whether you're using a PC or a Mac, you're going to be able to follow the same process, just with a little different interface. So now we're going to select Install Font. It has now installed the Biscuit font, and once it's installed, you'll see a preview right here to see each individual letter and number for the font. So this gives you a great little reference. You guys can see a few others that we're featuring today is Fixin', Hey There, Hopeful. And again, guys, what we love about our fonts is just like with our cut files, you get that free commercial license. So you're able to design your own subway art projects, and then you're able to feature them in your own products to make money with the projects that you create with your die cutting machine. So we're all about giving you guys extra streams of income if that's what you'd like to do with your membership. So many awesome fonts that we have at Maker's Gonna Learn. I think we're up to right at 160, and that's awesome to be on top of our close to 1,000 cut files. So if you haven't checked out Maker's Gonna Learn, again, check out that first link down below. But anyway, let's head over to Cricut Design Space. So right here, we have already went ahead and designed our amazing subway art. But in today's video, we want to be able to recreate this for you guys to share with you what we would do start to finish. So as you can see here, we got inspired by some inspiration on Pinterest. So I would highly recommend having some type of inspiration, something that you would like to be able to reference as you start designing. So feel free to find some on Pinterest, maybe some in a cool cafe. Anything like that is really, truly going to help your design process. But always, first things first, when you're designing subway art, is I highly recommend starting with a white rectangle the size of your project. So for today's project, we have a frame 8.5 by 11 inches tall. So just set that. You're able to click on shapes and click on square. And then we're going to take this square right here and we're going to unlock it. And right up here, we're able to type in that size. Now I know we already have one, but just for you beginners out there, we want to make sure you feel confident as well. So you take this square just like so, and then you can go up here to the right of undo and the cut line. We're going to change this and we're just going to change it to white. And it's truly that easy to create your square. So since we already have one, we're just going to delete this one. But then you'll have the square to start designing your house rules project or whatever you would like. So one thing you'll notice in today's project is that there's lots of different phrases going on in the house rules. But what we love is that we're making sure each phrase is, segmented by a different font. So that's one really awesome tip that I love. And there's really no specific place to start. So what we're going to do is kind of start at the top and work our way down. It's pretty simple, but you guys will sort of love seeing this come together. So we're going to start off with our text tool. It's on the left-hand sidebar, and we're going to type in house rules. So I'm just moving this over here, but as you can see, this is the basic Cricut Sans font. So we're going to open up our fonts and we're going to click on System Fonts. If you have downloaded fonts from makersgonnalearn.com, you're going to find those in your System Fonts after they're downloaded, okay? So we're going to type in Passion. Passion's a great font that is basic, really easy to read, and we truly do love using it for our different projects. So we're just going to scroll down here and select Passion. And we're going to kind of move it around and size it up just a tad. Just like so. And what I love is that you can unlock the font and kind of play around with how wide it is and different things like that. So remember, when you're designing, you can always undo different things if you're not happy with it. But this is a great starting point for today's project. So house rules, we have it right there. I kind of sized it a little bit larger than we had it before. I think it makes it look a little bit, fuller, which is going to be great. So then next up, we're going to grab just another font. So then I like to take, after a basic font, I like to add in more of a script font. So now we're going to grab an amazing font called Blown Away. So we're going to grab our text tool and we're going to click on font and we're going to type in blown and find Blown Away right here. And we're going to then type in smile. We're going to now move it over, and as you can see, it looks totally different than our sample. Remember, with each font, you have to, kind of move around the letter spacing to fit the project. So we're just going to bring that letter spacing down, and we're going to wait until all those letters start overlapping. For this font, it looks really awesome at -0.4. So then we're going to size it up. And just like so, we have a smile right there, ready to go. Isn't that awesome? I love, playing with this. And again, I know we already went through designing the whole one, but you really want to just go through and start picking out those different fonts. So after we have that one, I'm going to do another more basic font. So I'm going to grab the Fixin font and we're going to do Trust God. And then you can change that to the font Fixin. Just like so. Then we can kind of move it around and find a place for it and then size it up. So notice that, you really just get to play with each font and kind of find the perfect spot for it. It's not one of those projects that you're going to have everything perfect from the get-go, but you really just want to start playing with those different fonts. Now, in my opinion, I get a lot not as overwhelmed going one by one and picking out, say, 10 different fonts that I want to try to play with and then go from there. So the next font we're going to grab is Brock the Jock, and we're going to do the Show Compassion. So just again, pick your font and then type out your phrase. So just like so, you're going to see it right here and you're like, oh my gosh, this is not fitting. No big deal. You can size it down some. You can play around with it. You can also, change the size of things if you would like. You could also make the show and compassion two separate, groupings. You could ungroup each letter and move those around to play with it a little bit more. You could move line space together. So just like that, we have our show compassion, but again, you can, adjust your letter spacing, your line spacing if you're not happy with it. But for this right here, I think it's going to work great. So the next thing we're going to do is grab another font and just keep going with it. Now again, guys, we did do some prep work for this, so don't feel like we're sharing with you guys how to do this so easily. It does take time and it does take trial and error. If anything you learn from this video is just meshing different fonts together, you can change out your phrases, you can change out the fonts. You could say, I want to do this with only 3 different fonts if you are a little overwhelmed with all the different ones we're featuring today. But hopefully, by the time you see the end result, it's going to be really awesome. So now we're going to grab one of my favorite fonts, and it's called Chubster. It's so adorable. And then we're going to type out Give Hugs. Now with subway art, sometimes you're going to kind of play around with it and you're going to not only, space it out like so, but what we're going to do now is a few different things. First, I want to center this right here. So we're going to go alignment and center. And then we're going to just go line space and bring it closer together. You can see they're way too far away. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to rotate this font sideways, and then we're going to position it right next to Show Compassion. So now we're going to just size down Show Compassion. And then we can notice that our smile is a little too small. So we're going to actually unlock that font and we're going to see what it looks like stretched out a little bit more, a little larger. Then we can move it up a tad, and I think that looks perfect. And as you can see here, guys, it's starting to come together really well. So then the Trust God, we can just kind of move that down a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, now we can kind of size up the Show Compassion just a little bit. Like so. So this is truly, you can play around with it and kind of do what you want with it. It is one of those that you have that flexibility, which we love. So just like so, it's the start of our amazing subway art. Now this is one of those time-consuming projects, but it is one of the best ones to have for when you are wanting to be able to see what your design skills can do. It's very rewarding at the end, guys. So at this part right here, you're like, oh my gosh, I have so much more to design, but it's truly having fun with it. You know, Cricut Design Space works great on your phone, on your tablet, when you're at the airport, anything like that, traveling. This is one of those great projects to design when you're away from the computer, and then you're able to go in and, you know, cut it when you're back at your craft space or at your house, anything like that. So it's super fun. So what we're going to do is just quickly share with you guys now what to do after you have it all designed. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select this right here that we've been designing, and I'm going to hide these layers. So then you'll have your finished one ready to go, and it's really easy. Now the first thing that we need to do is we just created this square just to be a reference guide for us. So we can go ahead and select that and delete it. We don't need that square anymore. And then what we're able to do is I'm going to size up this house rules just a little bit. Love that. And now we're going to be able to select each of these layers just like so. So drag and hold. And there's a few different things. Now, since we've adjusted the letter space and the line space, and we have letters that overlap, we are going to have to weld this. But once you weld this project, you are not able to go through and edit it. So we recommend duplicating it and saving one as attach so you can adjust it later. And you can even hide it on the same one. So you copy and then paste, just like so. And then you're able to keep this so you're able to edit it, do anything you need to with it, anything like that, and hide those layers. But what we're going to do today is we're just going to select all of these layers, and then we're going to select weld. This is going to make it a permanent position for all of these fonts, and now it's going to be really easy for us to go through and cut it out, weed it, and transfer it onto our awesome board. So let's go ahead and select Make It. And as you can see right here, it has everything lined out perfect. Nothing has moved. That is one of the benefits of welding. And since we're using regular vinyl today, no need to mirror. So now we can select our material, which is vinyl. And now we're able to lay the vinyl onto our mat and begin the cutting process. It's really easy. All we're going to do is take our standard grip mat. Feel free to use a light grip mat, any mat you want really, and just apply your vinyl down onto the mat. And then roll it out, and then we're going to use the Cricut True Control knife to be able to just cut off the excess. And then once you're ready to go, we're going to take it and just load it into our machine. Feel free to turn fast mode on if you would like. I'm going to because it's a lot to cut out, and then we can press that flashing Cricut button. All right, guys, we have now unloaded the mat. It has cut everything. And a great tip when you're weeding vinyl, and especially something like this, is that you want to make sure to burnish really well. So we're going to use our Cricut scraper tool, and we're just going to go over the vinyl to make sure it's stuck down very well to our mat. Now, it's very intentional that we're leaving the vinyl on the mat to act as a second hand, or a third hand, if you will, for us during the weeding process. So once you're good to go, you can grab your weeding tool, and we're going to start in the top left-hand corner right here, and we're just going to start weeding our project. Just like so. And this is one of those projects that will, again, take some time to weed as well. And then right here's a great part where if you see there's a lot of excess and you feel a little overwhelmed, I like to find stopping points so that I'm able to cut off some excess. So right here, I feel like is a great stopping point where we can grab a pair of scissors and be able to cut off all of this excess so we're really able to truly work in chunks, just like so. And then you feel less overwhelmed to go piece by piece. And you really want to make sure that you're not pulling up any letters, because even though we burnished it down really well, sometimes those pieces still try to come up. Especially with little tiny fonts like this Ray Dunn inspired one, it wants to come up all the time. So you just want to be nice and careful with it. And again, if you start working in those chunks and you find yourself at a little stopping point, feel free to go ahead and cut off some more excess. All right, guys, after you take off that big, large piece, now it comes the fun part where you get to go in and take out all the different inner pieces right here. So this is a great example. Just quickly go through and really, you know, focus in on that detail to get all of these different pieces out. As you guys can see with us weeding, it's really important to keep a nice sharp weeding tool with you guys. If there's anything out of your tools that you want to replace often, it is these right here, because we go through them so quick when we are weeding all of our different projects. If you are big with vinyl, big with iron-on, you want to have those sharp tools. So if you guys have not went ahead and picked those up, be sure to feel free to go use our Shop Cricut link in the description below and use our coupon code. It's right now MGL10, but if you're watching this video after, I think like July of 2019, it will be something different. So just be sure to check some of our latest videos to find out what that coupon is. But if you're watching when it first gets launched, then you can use MGL10. That's for Maker's Gonna Learn 10, and you guys will get 10% off your order and free shipping off orders over 50. That's a little gift that they gave to you guys, which is awesome. And as long as you use our link, that gives us credit for helping refer you guys. So it's super awesome. But look at how fun it is to weed. I mean, it honestly is a little overwhelming, but this part of the process is where you're like, you can see the end of the tunnel. And I think a lot of people like myself get our motivation back for the project after you get through to this phase. So as you guys can see, you know, making subway art with your Cricut is definitely a project, but it is one of those projects that you're going to get better at as you go along. And I think it will definitely have you guys, you know, upping your design skills. And remember guys, if you are not already signed up for our Becoming a Die Cutting Pro class, it is a great course to learn how to make 20 complicated projects with your Cricut, whether you have a Cricut Explorer or Cricut Maker. That class is launching June 7th, so there's going to be a link down below. Look at the green hearts for the link to get registered for that class. You guys are going to love all of the expert projects that we're going to be sharing. And remember, if you guys go ahead and create 3 projects out of the 20 we're featuring in this new class, you will get a certification signed by yours truly, deeming you a die cutting pro, which I'm super excited about. So hope you guys enjoy that class. I know this is a project that you would want to kind of deem expert status. If you are a beginner and you're like, I really want to do subway art with my Cricut, just take it real slow. Give yourself room for mistakes, and, you know, give yourself that room to, you know, have trial and error with. All right, guys, after you've weeded it out, now we're just going to take a piece of transfer tape and we're going to peel it back right here. And I'm going to share with you guys the taco method. So the taco method is one of my favorite methods when I'm applying transfer tape. We're going to take it like a taco and we're going to start in the middle, just like so, and work our way out. This prevents air bubbles or anything like that going into your project. So now you can grab that scraper again, and we're just going to go over the entire project, just like so. Once you feel good about it, now we're going to take our mat, and this is the step where you remove it off the mat. This is very intentional. If you guys have had craft fails, try leaving your project on the mat. So now what we're going to do is just burnish the back right here, just like so. And then the best tip I have for you guys is when you're peeling this back, you want to go with gravity. So have it flip just how we do. And then you want to keep a tight grip right here and just peel it back. And then you can see right here, there's a letter wanting to come up. So you can just lay it back down and just kind of give some pressure. And just like so, you can remove the backing and just sit it to the side. And then I just usually take a finger to pick this up. And then you want to lay your item down. And we're going to do that same taco method. So we're going to position this down right here, move it up. And I do like using removable vinyl for this because it does allow you to have a little bit more control. Now for today's project, you can see there's some extra transfer tape. I'm actually going to cut this off because it has that lipped edge. It's going to be easier to position it if you cut this off down at the bottom. And now you just want to position it and lay it down. Just like so. So then you can take your hand and just smooth everything out. And then again, you're going to grab your tool and we're going to go in and burnish some more. It's a lot of burnishing, especially when you have a project like this. You want to make sure everything is down at every step of the way so that you get the best results. So now we're just going to start peeling that transfer tape back and look at how great it is staying on. Remember, keep that transfer tape nice and tight. So we've removed this and we can set that to the side. Now again, that's not one that you're going to be able to reuse, but I do want to share with you guys how forgiving vinyl is. So if you notice, I found 2 spots that I forgot to remove the vinyl from. We can just quickly go in and just pick that out just like so, and then remove it. So it's no big deal if you forgot to weed a piece or 2. It happens to me all the time. You can just very carefully go in and pick those pieces up, just like so from your project. That is why I love how forgiving vinyl truly is. What did you guys think of today's Subway art project? I hope you guys loved learning about the Maker's Gonna Learn fonts to create some really awesome Subway art with our fonts. It is so much fun. I'm definitely putting this in my new home. I cannot wait to share with you guys all the different room designs for our new home. But again, this is gonna be a really fun project. So if you guys have not went ahead and give the video a thumbs up, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more die cutting tutorials featuring your Cricut and Silhouette. We cannot wait to share with you guys all the fun. And again, if you're brand new here, be sure to check out the first link down below to get your year membership to get access to all of these amazing fonts and many, many more. If you are a member and not signed up for our Cricut Pro course and you're ready to level up to become an expert with your die cutting machine, be sure to check that out linked below with the green heart emojis. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya!